Did the Carolina Hurricanes fleece the Colorado Avalanche? Welcome back, motherfuckers. It's me, your favorite host. Can I say that? Am I gonna get in trouble? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
No,
I'm
that's
running
rude.
this shit right now.
You're the CEO.
Rude.
Who the fuck is
I am
gonna
the
yell at you?
CEO. You're right, Chris. Who is gonna yell at me? Nobody. I am no one.
That's right. You are head bitch
Yeah.
in charge.
I am HBIC. I should get that on my business card. You get
should.
super spoonable, and I get
Super
HBIC.
spoonable.
Yeah,
Super
for
spoonable.
sure.
I'm COO, bitch. That's what I was
Alright.
gonna say.
What would mine say?
Well, let's do the rest of the introductions. I've monopolized too much of this, which is how amazing and incredible I am. So now let's talk about my co-hosts, who are also amazing and wonderful and beautiful and talented. We're going to start with the funniest of the group, which is Danger. If you don't know, this is our other host, Danger Water. She is very funny.
I'm very scary too. I wore that shirt
Very
yesterday.
scary. Very funny. Very scary.
Very scary.
Very
Yeah,
funny.
it's a fine line,
It is.
Fucking Dan
The best
Housen
people
over here.
know how to
right?
fucking walk the line.
Mm-hmm. Our most spoonable and least rage-inducing co-host, Chris. Chris makes us
That's
upset
fair.
the least.
I was about to be upset, but that's fair.
No,
Can
it's
I
fair.
just say the fact that you guys are admitting that I'm not a toxic male, it just makes my life so much easier on the internet.
This is recorded, so this will live in perpetuity.
Yeah,
You're welcome for
exactly.
that.
I have evidence. It's not what you know,
Yeah.
it's what you can prove in court.
Yes.
Thank you, Denzel.
And then our newest guest co-host, well, he's been a guest co-host for a while now, since last season at the very least. And the one who makes us smile the most, because he's just such a heartwarming fella, Maul.
We love Maul. I know he's
Love
finally
Maul.
to be back.
We were
Yeah, I
supposed
know.
to have
After his
my
computer.
PC was down for what, 2 months, 3 months?
Dude, it was
Yeah.
Something like that.
forever.
Well, we were
Yeah,
supposed to have
and,
just a you and me episode, and that day that we
Mhm.
were trying to record that, your fucking computer was like, "Nah, fam, I am the fuck up out of here."
Yep. And then
Also-
just mentally, I couldn't even look at it for a month and a half because of
I felt
that.
so
I had all the articles spread out, everything
had
was all set
PTSD.
up, and we hit start and dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got outvoted on what we were going to name that episode, which is really unfortunate. I think we could still do it.
I vetoed the
boys will
shit
get their
out
own.
of that.
What
Yeah.
was it?
I was all
I
for
don't
it.
remember.
I
I don't
was
remember. I
all
don't think
for
we
it.
can say it on air because if it got vetoed in the chat, then I don't think that it'll make it to the final cut.
No,
Considering
because I'm
Chris is the one
who
that controls
edits.
that, so
Yeah.
Call
it
Guys,
face
we'll just
off.
giggle about it later.
just dolphin noise. Just
The good
No,
old
I'm glad to be
dolphin
back. So
noise.
thank you for the invitation to come back. I enjoy my time here and hanging out with you guys and being on the show.
Yeah, we love having
yeah.
you. We're
And
so
you've been
glad
putting in
that
that-
your computer's fixed.
You've been putting in the hockey work too. You and I've actually
I
been watching a bunch
know.
of games together.
I
Mhm.
honestly, like, even though I have my favorite team, I just anytime I can throw a game on and watch it, I throw a game on and watch it.
No.
As you should.
And I'm enjoying the hell out of it. And you know what? My kids absolutely love it. And I'm glad that it's starting to transcend down to them. And like, it's now a whole family activity of just watching hockey.
I love
awesome.
that. That's
Yeah.
so
Well,
sweet.
They're part Canadian, so it's like a birthright.
Well,
I mean, yeah, but they were born in America. So
Yeah. Well, and you also pretty much lived your entire life in America.
yeah.
in Canada South, we've been over this.
In
Yeah,
Canada
it's the
South.
South
Are you
Canada.
gonna force them to be fans of a Canadian team, or do they get to pick?
Oh, they can do whoever they want.
Perfect.
But I
Great,
will
so-
say, I have
Not the
taught my
Penguins.
kids. I've been teaching my kids how to ice skate this season. This
Oh.
was our big Christmas gift. Was everyone got ice skates? And there's a
Very nice.
place 2 minutes down the street from me that's free outdoor pond.
Oh, nice.
We've been going like every day after school. They don't want to play video games. They just want to go ice skate.
Oh, that's
um,
awesome.
Aw.
My youngest, he can't sit traditionally crisscross like most people. He kind of sits out in a W.
Uh-huh.
And all he does when he found a hockey stick was sit in goal and try to stop people. I'm like, oh my god, he's
Nice.
gonna be a goalie. He's
You
like,
got a goal in your
he's like
hands.
built to be a goalie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my oldest just wants to be an equipment manager. And I was like, fantastic. That's
Fuck yeah.
cheaper.
Amazing. Yeah. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm
You
just
know,
glad
just-
that they picked it up and they absolutely love it. And, they're becoming huge fans of the sport. Now that they can skate and watch it, they kind of understand it a little bit better.
Yeah.
Right, and that's
Oh.
important.
Right.
You could put everything together.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Do they know what goalie interference is yet? Enough to be like, that is not fucking goalie interference. Why is that goal coming back?
So I'm gonna wait until he's 6 before I start charging him on goal.
That's smart. That's smart. You got to give him a little bit of time to adjust.
You know what? That's fine.
But you know what? I just, a little tangent, but I spent my time with not having a computer pretty productively, and
Yeah.
I enjoyed getting to do that time with them.
That's awesome.
yeah.
I love that. Well, thanks, Maul. I'm excited about that. All right. Well, let's, I guess, jump into our show here. I'm going to start, actually.
No more speaking lines
our-
for you, Maul. That was it. He used
Huh?
up all your words. And I said no more speaking for Maul now. He used up all his guest host words.
Well, this portion of the show is always just me speaking for 15 minutes nonstop.
Help!
We just keep him
Oh.
locked in there.
Just keep him muted the whole time.
Chris has control the mute button. Prick.
Chris does all
Oh my
the
God.
post editing and stuff, so he'll just remove his audio track.
Yeah,
After this.
it's a lot easier than you'd think it would be.
Yeah, I know.
Wah, wah,
I believe you
wah,
can do it.
wah, wah, wah,
You just
wah.
replace it with a Charlie Brown adult.
Yeah,
Wah,
the-
wah,
yeah.
wah, 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 wah.
All right, y'all. Let's get into it. We are going to start with our 3 stars of the week for the PWHL because women always go first on this podcast, at the very
And
least.
come first. Wait, sorry.
I mean, they should come first.
That's
Just
staying in.
saying.
All right.
That's just sharing's caring.
Yeah. All
I'll
right, we
say-
have our third.
Poor
We've
Mom.
got- He's like, what did I sign up for? This is not the family-friendly show I was promised.
No, I took a really bad sip at a wrong time and almost choked on it. So thanks. I'm gonna have energy drink coming out my nose.
It's been a little
Oh,
bit. He
that's the
hasn't adjusted.
worst.
He hasn't adjusted.
Oof. Oof. All right, so with our third star this week for the PWHL, we have Taylor Heisey, who is a forward for the Minnesota Frost. Wow.
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Minnesota?
I'm a big Minnesota fan.
Minnesota Frost.
With 5 shots and a 1-0 loss to Ottawa on Tuesday and 7 more in Sunday's 5-2 win over Boston, Heisey produced 12 of her team's 49 shots, nearly 1/4 of the Frost's total across 2 home games at Xcel Energy Center. In Sunday's win, the Lake City, Minnesota native opened the scoring with a snapshot from the inner rim of the left wing circle, igniting a 7-point performance by her line with Michaela Cava and Coyne Schofield. I don't know why she doesn't get a first name. Michaela gets both, and
Or Kendall.
It's
Just
just like,
like
no,
shit.
fucking-
Kendall just gets your last name.
Coyne Schofield. After the Fleet had halved Minnesota's lead 2-1, Heisey powered a rising wrist shot over Emma Soderberg's left glove from almost the same location for the game winner, and the 4th 2-goal performance of her PWHL career last season. She had 2 goals plus an assist against Toronto on January 10th, plus 2 consecutive 2-goal showings in the playoffs. With 4 goals, 8 assists for 12 points in 13 games this season, including 3 2-point performances, Heisey has matched the last season's goal total and is within 1 of matching her assist total over 19 games as a rookie in 2024. With 42 shots, Heisey is 3rd in the PWHL, 1 behind Coyne Schofield. Again, give her full name. Kendall Coyne Schofield.
I did
and
see
3
that goal that Heisey scored. That they were talking
Yeah.
that they highlighted. It was fucking nasty.
It was.
I was like, God damn,
was
Taylor
sick.
Heisey.
Yeah.
Save some pussy for the rest of us.
All right, our second is our second star, I should say. I should be specific. Is Hannah Miller, a forward for the Toronto Scepters. Miller scored twice against New York on Saturday, lifting the Scepters to a 4-2 win over New York and giving Toronto its second victory in as many appearances at the Battle on Bay Street presented by Scotiabank. Before a crowd of 19,102 at Scotiabank Arena, holy shit, get it, girls. Miller was a force in the closing minutes of the first period and second period. She opened the scoring at 18:34 of the opening period, driving to the front of the net, tipping in a point shot from Callie Flanagan, And then again at 18:47 of the second, Miller stole the puck, broke in alone up the middle, and fired a 15-foot shot between the pads of Sirens goalie Corinne Schroeder for her 6th goal of the season. Miller thus capped her first 2-goal game of the season and her 3rd goal in 2 Battle on the Bay Street appearances. She also scored in a 3-0 win over Montreal in the inaugural edition of the Classic. With 6 goals, 3 assists, and 12 games this season, Miller is within 1 of matching her goal total for 23 games during the 2024 season. She shares the PWHL goal-scoring lead with last week's 3rd star, Minnesota's Kendall Coyne-Schofield. Our first star is another name that we're all very familiar with, Alina Mueller, a forward for the Boston Fleets. A lot of forwards this week. The Fleet scored 6 goals while splitting 2 games last week, and the dynamic Mueller played a role in 4 of them, scoring a goal and setting up 2 others in Boston's 4-1 win over Toronto on Wednesday at the Tsongas Center, and then adding an assist in Sunday's 5-2 loss to Minnesota. Goals in the first or last 5 minutes of a period can create huge swings in momentum, and Mueller was at her most productive at those junctures against Toronto. She opened the scoring at 4 minutes and 27 seconds of the first, turning a wrist shot from the rim of the left wing circle into her first goal of the season. After her strong forecheck helped Boston establish some solid offensive zone time, Mueller used a no-look backhand pass across the goal mouth to set up Emily Brown's first goal of the season at 17:48. Then just 58 seconds into the third period, Mueller grabbed the rebound of her own shot and set up Shea Maloney for a 3-0 Boston lead. Sunday at Minnesota, Mueller set up Hillary Knight for a goal that brought the Fleet within 2-1. After going without a point in her first 8 games this season, Mueller has had points in 3 straight games. So that was once again our 3 stars of the week as presented by Shark Beauty. Very nice. We have some other news coming out of the PWHL in that there are some executive leadership promotions coming out. So the PWHL has announced a trio of promotions within its leadership team as the league continues to grow and elevate operations. Jana Hefford has been promoted to Executive Vice President of Hockey Operations, Amy Shear to Executive Vice President of Business Operations, and Jen Flynn to Senior Vice President of Business Affairs and General Counsel. Let's see. Royce Cohen, who's a PWHL advisory board member and senior vice president, said launching the PWHL in such a short timeline required extraordinary effort, ingenuity, and determination. Jana, Amy, and Jen have propelled the league beyond what we envisioned at this stage. Under Jana's leadership, the on-ice product and rule innovations have set a new benchmark for women's professional hockey, while Amy's strong leadership and industry expertise have enhanced the engagement and access globally. Jen's legal expertise and strategic guidance in navigating the complexities of building a new league have been absolutely critical. These elevated roles will position Jana, Amy, and Jen to make even greater contributions for the league. So previously, Hefford had been the Senior Vice President of Hockey Operations. So with all of these titles, they're getting the executive title added in, which just from like a business standpoint means it's like going from being a manager to C-suite level, to being a CEO, COO, all of that kind of stuff. Adding that executive gives them a larger say in the operations of the business. So again, all of them have gotten a boost in title and hopefully a boost in pay as well. Am I right?
Right.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I think it's
Thank you very
deserved,
much.
especially with everything Jana Hefford's done for the league.
Yeah.
And all 3 of these women are so pivotal to the success of the league, like they said so early on, and how very quickly this league came up off the ground. So
Yes.
hell yeah, no, this I love when people who have earned these sort of opportunities are given them, and they
Right.
get their opportunities to really shine, because I don't think this league's going anywhere. If anything, I think this league's about to explode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree. And so, yeah, I think that's really well deserved. And I can't wait to see what these ladies do next, where they steer us next. Very, very excited for that. All right, with that, let's jump over into our boys in the NHL. We'll start with the 3 stars of the week, because why not? I'm already here. And then I get to shut up for a little bit, and that's great for all of us. So this week, which was ending on the 27th, the 26th, January 20th through the 26th, we see our 3rd star as a name we actually haven't seen before, which is very exciting. Barrett Hayton, a center for the Utah Hockey Club. is our third star. He compiled 4 goals and 2 assists, highlighted by 2 game-winning goals in 4 games to guide Utah to a pair of victories. He opened the week with consecutive decisive goals, potting 1 goal and 2 assists in a 5-2 win against the Winnipeg Jets, and 2 goals and no assists in a 4-0 win versus the Minnesota Wild. Hayton then scored once in a 5-2 loss to those same Winnipeg Jets they had previously beaten 5-2. Interesting that both games came at a 5-2 decision. Before being held off the score sheet in a 3-1 loss against the Ottawa Senators. The 24-year-old Hayton, the 5th overall pick from the 2018 NHL draft, leads Utah with 5 game-winning goals and ranks 6th on the team with 12 goals, 14 assists for 26 total points through 49 total games this season. Next, we have our second star, which is one that Chris might know pretty well. Mason McTavish, a center for the Anaheim Ducks. McTavish topped the NHL with 5 goals in 3 games to propel the Ducks to a 2-1-0 week. He scored once in a 5-2 loss to the Florida Panthers. McTavish then notched back-to-back 2-goal performance in a 5-1 victory against the Pittsburgh Penguins and a 5-2 win over the Nashville Predators. The last Anaheim player to produce consecutive multi-goal games was Trevor Zegras on November 14th of this year. And before that, Trevor Zegras on November 16th of 2021. The 21-year-old McTavish is the 3rd overall pick from the 2021 NHL draft and sits 4th on the Ducks with 11 goals, 13 assists for 24 total points through 43 total games this season, and owns 49 goals, 63 assists for 112 points and 196 career NHL appearances since making his debut in the 2021-2022 season.
He popped off.
He did, which the Ducks have needed. So what better time to do it than when it's needed? Well, this season's young. I mean, you're not making the playoffs, but at least you might get out of the basement this year.
We're only 9 points out of a wild card spot right now, so it's not unlikely.
Anything can happen. This is the world of sports. That's true. All right, our first star is a name we're all familiar with, David Pastrnak, right winger for the Boston Bruins. Pastrnak, who was named the 3rd star for the week, ending January 19th, so the week just before this, got promoted to 1st star as he led the NHL for 3 goals and 5 assists in 4 games to lift the Bruins into the first wildcard position in the Eastern Conference via a 3-1-0 week. He registered 1 goal and 1 assist as Boston rallied for a 6-3 victory over the San Jose Sharks. Pastrnak then factored on the Bruins' final 6 goals of the week, collecting an assist in a 5-1 loss to the New Jersey Devils, posting 1 goal, 1 assist in a 2-0 win over the Ottawa Senators, and recording 1 goal, 2 assists, his 6th 3-point game of the campaign, and a 3-1 win versus the Colorado Avalanche. The last Boston player to factor on at least 6 consecutive team goals was also Pastrnak from April 9th through the 11th of 2023. The 28-year-old Pastrnak, who has assists and points in 7 straight games dating back to January 11th, paces the Bruins in goals with 24, assists with 35, points with 59, through 51 total appearances this season. He also ranks among the 2024-2025 league leaders in shots on goal, 1st with 211, points 9th with 59, and goals tied for 10th with 24. So those are our 3 stars of the week as presented by Geico. If you want someone else to be a 3-star, email the NHL. They might actually respond. I want one of our fans to do that. I don't want to do that because that seems like work. But maybe we could, if we start a campaign, we could elect the next 3rd star or something.
Maybe.
Wouldn't that be fun? Just sow a little chaos. Why not?
The 3rd star is voted by the people.
Yeah, that would be great.
Honestly, NHL, it's my idea and you should pay me for it. But that might not be a bad way to go. Do a fan vote for the 3rd star every week.
Right here first.
You want engagement. That's how you do it. Although every week it'll just end up being fucking Connor McDavid. And I'll be like, all right. So maybe they should put some parameters around it. You get to choose from these 5 people, and then there you go. That's your 3rd star. And everyone else effectively gets an honorable mention. There you go. NHL,
Batman
free marketing for you. Not free. Fucking pay me.
Hit us up. Give us money.
Gary Bettman's assistant, hit me up and give me money.
Someone hit us up.
Sponsor an episode.
Yeah. Do
sponsor
that.
An episode.
Bring us to the Stanley Cup. I'll take that as a form of payment for my genius ideas.
I'm in. Fly us out to the Stanley Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Give us a booth and we can just do Pucked Up live from the Stanley Cup.
Dude, could you imagine?
That'd be wild. That'd be
Yeah.
sweet.
That'd
You
be
guys like
legit
that
sick.
idea. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, and sharing this fucking podcast.
And
I-
emailing
tag
it
the
directly
NHL.
to Gary Bettman.
Let them know you want us there.
I'm sure his email is gbettman@nhl.com. Actually, I don't know that's his email, but try it.
I'm pretty
You don't
sure
know.
that's what it is.
G Betty.
Honestly,
27.
Remember when like
Find him on LinkedIn.
COVID was happening and they were tweeting out his email, like, "Don't bitch to us, bitch to Bettman."
Bitch to Bettman.
Essentially.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Do you think it's just $$$$$$ gbets@nhl.com?
Probably.
If it's not, it should be. I mean, I don't know how email works. I don't know if you can put $$ in an email, but like that should be his new email.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me Google that.
We're doing research.
Yeah, mid podcast. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Most of the time we are.
I mean,
I
that is
know,
fair. We do
we're-
Google a lot of
Yes,
Or at
stuff.
least
you
I
can
am.
use letters, numbers, and some special characters in email address, including the
See?
underscore and hyphen.
Gary,
Fuck
I'm
yeah.
telling you, before you're forced to retire, change your email address to $$$$$gbets@nhl.com.
It does say, however, you should avoid using characters like an exclamation mark, a $, and an ampersand.
Nah,
But
ampersand
they're
all
there.
day. Well, on that lovely note,
Lord.
now that we are all a little bit smarter about what you can and can't put in an email, Mal, I think you have some updates for us about what you can and can't put into a Four Nations roster, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you hate Canada? Because I don't hate Canada, but apparently Pietrangelo does.
Petrangelo does not hate
Petrangelo.
Canada.
No, stop. I have Google up right now. It says how to pronounce it, and I listened to that right before I said it, and that's what Google
Well,
said.
It's incredibly
Google is
wrong.
wrong. It's
Pietrangelo.
Petrangelo.
It is
No,
100%
Pietrangelo.
Petrangelo.
According to Google.
No.
Anyway,
No,
It's Petrangelo.
I'm telling you, it's Petrangelo.
It's
I literally-
Petrangelo.
I literally have it up on my computer right now. And
I
I'm
believe that
Even
My favorite
fucking
part is that
You're
it sounded like
correct.
Pietrangelo, which I now will just start calling him that. He is forever
Pietrangelo.
Pietrangelo.
Train.
Pietrangelo.
Hey, Pietrangelo, what up?
Anyway, he deserves this because he hates Canada. Who hates Canada? No one hates Canada.
He's Canadian. He
No one
doesn't
hates
hate
Canada. It's
Canada.
the
You can
nicest
hate where you're
country
from,
in the world,
Danger.
but it's the nicest country in the world for a reason. Anyway, so he is one of
I
the
hate it
first
here.
players, if not the first player. I think the first player, right?
He is the first.
Only
yeah.
player so
Dude.
far.
To decide he doesn't want to play in the Four Nation Face-Off, which kind of sucks because I'm really excited for the Four Nation Face-Off. I think this is a great year to get right back into hockey because we're not just getting one All-Star game, we're getting like a million, which is kind of cool. But he's not doing it because of an ailment.
Yep.
But that ailment didn't stop him
Frivolous.
from playing 24 minutes and 22 seconds with a 4-1 win against Florida.
But
The
see,
same day he
I do have
withdrew.
I do have to say, I understand that if he has like a nagging injury, right? Like something that is just lingering, he's not going to want to waste time on ice, potentially making it worse for games that don't count for points to get to the cup.
Yeah.
Which
Like
It's fair.
that
I
I
get that,
understand.
right? And you know, the more we learned about the Four Nation Face-Off after they announced it and stuff like that, like it doesn't surprise us that people were going to pull out. And I think it's funny that him pulling out of it comes suspiciously after the NHL announced that they are not penalizing players for missing it, like they do the All-Star
Right.
game. So I think
Yeah.
that the timing was kind of good for him on that part. And I do
I
get
think-
it, you know, like you want to focus on the stuff that makes sense. It goes towards your records and stuff like that. It's just kind of sad because he was invited to play for the country and play for the
Yeah.
team, and it's an opportunity to diversify your play style by playing with people that you may never get a chance to play with. And you get to learn from other, you know, forwards, defensemen, goalie, other coaches, coaching styles. You know, I mean, most of us have played sports, and when you got to go to a different coach or a different team or a different division, you learn so much from that. So I feel like, you know, there's a lot of that kind of being left on the table. But he's probably not going to be the only player to withdraw from this, especially
No.
since they announced that you're not going to get penalized for it anymore. I mean, I know the Leafs, you know, as a Leaf fan, we're pushing really hard to get Austin Matthews to not do it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
he's missed a lot of time this season because of his shoulder. And
Mhm.
yes, it would be cool to see him play for Team USA, even though he plays for a Canadian team. Um, but it's one of those things where it's like, could he potentially get hurt and have a career or season-ending injury
Yeah.
for nothing? You know, so it sucks, but I get it. So does he hate Canada? Nah, I don't think so.
No.
And neither do we. We love
No.
you, Canada.
PSA, we love you, Canada.
PSA, we love you, Canada.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, I think this is the right choice, honestly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see more people do it. The thing is that this doesn't count for points. And unlike the All-Star game where you play like 3 15-minute games if you're lucky, this is like full out fucking games. And not only is it
Mhm.
full out fucking games, but it's for something that has an identity behind it. Whereas like with the All-Star, they just put you into bullshit like East Conference, West Conference, you know what I mean? Like, or Metro team, whatever.
Yeah.
They put you into these random groups that you don't feel a sense of identity in. But now you're going to the Four Nations, you're playing for, Team Canada, Team USA, whatever. And to go there and lose spectacularly or not give it your all, I feel like is more embarrassing. So people are going to be giving it their all and they are going to be risking injury. And so if you are already in a position where you are battling an injury, or think that it's just too risky, then yeah, pull out.
So, and the crazy thing is, the deadline to name a replacement is February 11th,
Yeah.
which is the day before the
days.
tournament started, or
Yeah.
a day or 2 days before the tournament starts, which is wild because now you're going to go in as a replacement if you don't get
Mhm.
picked earlier and have to try to learn and collaborate with all these other players that you may have never played with before.
Right.
And I think
Yeah.
that could potentially have a huge effect on who wins the Four Nation face-off. And because of how different it is, like I was really excited when they announced it. I know like the four of us kind of talked that they don't have every country that they could represented in it.
Mhm.
But I hope that this is so successful that they do decide to add more and even do it in a different time where it's not so detrimental to the season. Maybe
right.
instead of preseason, have your nation face off, or at the end of it,
That's where
You
I'm
know?
at because I'm like, I love the All-Star game and the fact that it's like everyone gets time off, and then
Except for
if
those
you're
playing.
selected, you
Yeah.
can play,
Mhm.
and in the skills comps. Other than that, everyone gets this time off. It's like a lot of people use that to make sure they're back to 100% because we all know
Mhm.
hockey players don't always play at 100%. Like they'll play through
No.
injuries,
Right.
but it's like the perfect example I can use for this for sports wise is the MLB and World Baseball. They do the World Baseball Classic. It's a big
Right.
international tournament that happens every couple of years. They do it before spring training. So they do it before preseason and all that. The idea of having an international tournament in the middle of your season to me seems insane, especially with the fact that I feel like this doesn't mean as much now, especially because the NHL is allowing them to play in the Olympics again. So
Yeah.
like you're taking the top 4 in the IIHF rankings and letting them play, but like it's not the full like rosters, it's only the NHL players. So it's like a selective international competition. Like the concept is great, but I think it's a terrible place to put it. I think I don't blame players for not wanting to play because like Dee said, when it comes to playing the All-Star game, yeah, everyone's there to kind of have fun. You're only playing like 15 minutes. These guys are going to be going hard, and if I'm a GM or a coach, I don't want my players hurt like because
Mhm.
there's a real
Yeah, for
possibility
sure.
and we're halfway through the year. And you got a lot
Mhm.
of teams that could a one injury could change the entire trajectory of a team's season. Like it's just
Yep.
it seems crazy to me. Look at the
Absolutely.
NFL. No one gives a fuck about the Pro Bowl because it doesn't happen anywhere relative to the season. The
Right.
Pro Bowl happens right before the Super Bowl, and it's like everyone's checked out by then.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
I feel like if
And
we're
a
gonna do
majority of the
this-
Pro Bowl people too, though. Like, are people who are done, right? Because
Yeah.
only 2 teams make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So
And those
the
teams don't
risk of injury
they
there.
don't bring their players in if you're in the Super Bowl. You don't play in the Pro
Yeah.
Bowl. So
Right.
Right.
it doesn't. It's a good idea that's executed poorly.
Correct. That's such a good way to put it.
So I really hope that this isn't a domino effect and just kind of like ruins the whole event. Because again, I want it to be successful because this has the potential to be something cool, and it's a win-win for everyone because it gives us more hockey, you know.
Right.
So we'll see.
Well, there's no way that it doesn't go forward. They've already spent all the fucking money on it, so it's
Right.
happening. It's just a matter of who is the one that ends up on the roster.
Yeah.
And we may see a lot of more lesser known names show up if we continue to see people pull out. Which I think is also fine. I think that
Yeah.
kind of exposure for your talent that's just getting started in the league, or finally made their debut after 5 years in the AHL, whatever. I think giving them a shot at something like this is also super worthwhile.
Honestly, that would be the best idea. Take someone off your third or fourth line, or take someone who is in the AHL, who is like a star player who's ready to make the jump
And let them play.
let it be a showcase for them. You know,
Well, and
you get to
and I-
represent your country. B, you get to be in a setting where more eyes are on you. Do it.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I also don't think the league can walk back that no punishment thing now. They've already set that
No.
precedent, and with
Mhm.
Pietrangelo being the first one to step away, you can't go back on that because then that's super shitty.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
that would be super wrong. So
That's such a can of worms too.
yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
you
With
opened
him-
such a can of worms right now with that.
Yeah.
I think personally with him, it was probably more because of a nagging injury or something like that. He found out he
Yeah.
wasn't going to be penalized for pulling out of it, so he took the opportunity. I don't think he has a vendetta against Canada. I don't think he, it's that he doesn't want to play. I think it's
Right.
just that he's not healthy enough, and to lessen the risk of
Yeah.
injury later in the season when it really matters,
Yeah.
he's going to sit out of this.
Not
Mhm.
only
And people
that,
can
but
hate on him for it, but
Vegas
I
is
don't
in a
think
great
that's fair.
position. So I
Yeah.
I think that has a lot to do with it as well, especially getting yourself to 100%, being 1 point out of first place in the Pacific Division. I could see healing himself and like
Mhm.
also
Mhm.
not wanting to take the risk of hurting his team in any way.
Yeah.
I
Right.
think it's
Which is fair.
I applaud Alex for making this decision.
yeah, I agree.
Yep.
But and the
All
good thing, real quick, is like you do have some people like Drew Doherty, who's like, I don't want to break. Like I want to continue to play hockey.
Right.
So there are
Right.
people foaming at the mouth
Right.
to get an opportunity to do this. So
Yeah.
I'm holding out hope that this is going to be successful and something that hopefully done scheduled better will continue, and
Well,
we'll see
yeah.
it grow as the time goes on.
And to be honest, I think this is kind of Doughty's last hurrah with being able to wear, the Team Canada jersey, because I don't know
Mhm.
if he'll play in the next Olympics.
Right.
Like I don't know if he's going to retire before then or what. So I can see where that idea of like players that are like, yeah, I don't have much time left in the league. I want to wear my country's jersey one final time,
Mhm.
Right.
And the jerseys are so freaking cool.
They did do a really good job on
They're
all
so
the
cool.
jerseys.
Yeah, it did turn out nice. All right. Well, from that, we do have some quarter century team updates. As a reminder, these are the initial picks by the team themselves, their first team, second team, and then we'll go on to fan votes later on next month. So we left off with the Vancouver Canucks. That was last week. This week, we start with the New Jersey Devils. They have announced their first team as Patrick Elias, Jack Hughes, Zach Parisi, Scott Niedermeyer, Scott Stevens, and Martin Brodeur. Martin Brodeur. Our second team is Scott Gomez, Jamie Langenbrunner, Travis Zajac, Andy Green, Brian Rafalski, and Corey Schneider.
I think
Bring out the
Patrick
Rios goalie.
Eliash being number 1 here makes a lot of sense because Eliash was a savage for that team.
Yeah. Fair.
Scott Niedermayer, former Duck.
Just have to point it out.
I
Just
do.
kidding. We all do.
What's
the
the
same.
Every
Stanley
week.
Cup?
All right. For the Detroit Red
Nice,
Wings, who
I wanted
announced
to-
the Detroit Red Wings announced their lineup on January 23rd. Their first team, Pavel Datsyuk. Sure. His
Wanna go
name
to
always
Google for
confuses
that?
me because
Datsuk,
yeah,
because it's not
that why
spelled
I want to
Datsuk.
pronounce it so bad.
That's yuck.
Mhm.
And so it makes me like every time I'm like, that's yuck. Yeah, that's right. That's right. You said it. Anyway, Steve Yzerman, Heinrich Zetterberg, Heinrich, whatever. But it could be Heinrich. We don't know. Nicholas Kronwall, Nicholas Lindstrom, Chris Osgood. Our second team, Sergei Fedorov, Dylan Larkin, Brendan Shanahan, Chris Chelios, Brian Rafalski. Didn't I just say his name?
Mhm.
I did. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought I was tripping. And then Dominic Hasek. I was like, am I reading the wrong list? Did I somehow skip?
No.
Nope. Just listen twice. That's fair. For New
I mean,
York,
it's not. But
well, yeah, I do think that there is a lot of overlap with names in this that I think is very interesting. But again, of course, if you have a player who played for multiple teams and produced for them, then
Right.
I guess you gotta give them props. But like maybe they should have just like
that's fair.
conference called real quick.
Chris Pronger's on like 4 teams on this list.
Dude,
Is he?
He's on
He's
4.
on a lot.
Yeah,
He's
that
on like 3
Yeah.
or 4.
yeah,
yeah.
I suppose that makes sense, but
Yeah, I just think again, little conference call should have happened.
right.
The New York Islanders announced theirs on January 24th. Their first team consists of Josh Bailey, Brock Nelson, John Tavares, Nick Leddy, Adam Pelech, and Ilya Sorokin. Their second team, Matthew Barzal, Anders Lee, Franz Nielsen, Kenny Johnson. Yeah, Ryan Pulock, and Semyon Varlamov.
All right.
A good list. I think that the
a great
Islanders
list.
chose well. Yeah. The Ottawa Senators announced their list on January 25th. Their first team is Daniel Alfredson, Danny Heatley, Jason Spezza, Eric Carlson, Wade Redden, Craig Anderson. Second team is Marian Hossa, Mark Stone, Brady Tkachuk, Zdeno Chara, Chris Phillips, and Patrick Lalime.
I think everyone forgets Zdeno played 4 seasons with Ottawa.
Yeah. I don't think of him I don't think of Ottawa when I think of Zdeno, though. I think of Boston.
Well, it's
I
funny
think
because he was
everybody
drafted
does.
by the Islanders. He played with the Islanders for like 4 seasons, then 4 with Ottawa. But then, yeah, he played the majority of his career with the Boston Bruins. But yeah, it's funny
And
you forget.
Washington
It's like,
Capitals.
oh shit, yeah.
He played a couple seasons with us. Big Z.
You forget. It's like, oh, we played other places
Yeah, I do. Yeah. He played for me, and I still think of him with Boston.
with Boston.
Just genuinely. And he was on my team. All right. The New York Rangers announced their lineup on January 26th. Sorry, this just makes me laugh. First team, Chris Kreider, Artemi Panarin, Mika Zibanejad, Adam Fox, Ryan McDonough, and Henrik Lundqvist. Second team, Jaromir Jagr, Derek Stepan, Mats Zuccarello, Dan Girardi, Mark Stahl, and Igor Shesterkin. I think it's incredibly funny who's not on this list. And I think it's funny some of who is on this list, considering that there have been trade rumors about some of these people for fucking weeks, and yet you're going to put them on first team. Just saying.
I saw this when this got released. I saw Twitter was going crazy because I saw like 3 or 4 people that were like, "How are you gonna put Igor Shesterkin on second team?" It's like, how the fuck are you gonna forget Henrik Lundqvist as a Hall of Famer?
Right.
I'm sorry.
Right.
What? What are we talking about
No,
here?
Lundqvist is the only option for first team.
Henrik Lundqvist is one of the best goalies ever. Like, are you fucking high?
Yeah. But they did just pay Igor a fuckload of money.
Shesty earned that pay though.
He did. Absolutely. I'm not debating that. All right. We next have the San Jose Shark, who announced just the one. There's not multiple sharks. There's a
Just
singular
one
shark.
Left shark,
and his
right
name is
shark?
Jose. On January 27th, they announced their first team would consist of Patrick Marleau, Joe Pavelski, Joe Thornton, Brett Burns. Stop! I'm trying to read names, Chris. You can't laugh at
Not
me
my
right now.
Burnsy.
It's
Fuck
not
me,
fair.
right?
Damn.
Yeah, fuck you. Exactly.
Yeah, it's just Chris.
Just me.
Chris is the only one that I could see laughing
Yeah.
hysterically, and it was like, ugh, I know, I'm very funny. I get
just
it.
loving his name is Jose.
Exactly. His
It
name
was
is
phenomenal.
Jose. Just the one shark named Jose. Anyway, continuing on, Marc-Edouard Vlasic and Yevgeny Nabokov. The second team is Logan Couture, Tomasz Hertl, Owen Nolan. I don't know why that name was so hard for me to read just now. Like, I actively had to think about it because it's so just normal. It's just a
Yeah.
regular name.
It's just-
You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
just
the next-
normal.
those two are normal as fuck.
Yeah, Dan Boyle also being very
Dan Boyle's
normal.
normal as shit.
Normal as fuck. We have Eric Carlson, also on the list for the San
North.
Jose Sharks, of course, and Martin Jones rounding it out in goalie. And then today, as of time of recording, the only other team to announce is the Tampa Bay Lightning. First team, Nikita Kucherov, Steven Stamkos, again, very interesting considering what trade moves happened over the summer.
Mhm.
Martin St. Louis, Dan
Also
Boyle,
interesting.
also interesting. Victor Hedman, very interesting. Andrei Vasilevsky. Second team, Vincent Lecavalier. Wow. That
Wow.
was terrible. I apologize to all French-speaking people.
Poor Vinny.
Yeah. But it is Lecavalier.
It is a
Yeah. Braden Point, Brad Richards, Pavel Kubina, Ryan McDonough. Didn't we just say his name too? And then Ben
Yeah.
Bishop.
You know, I see 3 people on this list for Tampa Bay that have been fucked over by Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Stamkos, LeCavalier, Marty, Ryan
Mhm.
McDonough.
Yeah,
Yep.
this is them trying to pretend like they didn't.
Oh,
fuck
we
us.
love you.
We're sorry.
Yeah,
You
you're
did so much good
great. Yeah,
for our
thank you so
team.
much for all you've done.
But then we
We
kicked
love
you out of the
us.
boat and into the ocean to just hang out with Jose. Just that one shark. You and
Did
him
you see
forever
the
together.
name of, Did you see the status in our video?
Women buddies.
Mhm.
Just one shark, and his
Shark,
name is
and his
Jose.
name is Jose.
Jose.
Jose?
Who the fuck
Um,
let us have a podcast?
Dude, I don't know.
We did.
I blame
Yeah,
the
technically
CEO of the
us.
company.
You blame the CEO.
Hey, I wasn't CEO when this was greenlit, so that's somebody
She-
else's fault.
She
To be
greenlit
fair-
it, and you know what? It's all her fault.
I was CEO when this was greenlit, so we can technically blame me.
That's true. That's fair.
Oh, God.
And I will continue with that lie. You know what's also interesting, speaking of the way that people are treated, we have an interesting character making his NHL return. Danger, you want to fill us in on who that might be?
Yes. Well-known, controversial defenseman. Tony DeAngelo has departed from the KHL's St. Petersburg and left, I'm sorry,
St. Petersburg, yeah.
yeah, and reached a mutual agreement to leave the club and will return to North America. Upon his return, he was linked as a free agent to different teams, and on Friday, the New York Islanders announced they have signed DeAngelo to a 1-year contract for the remainder of the 2024-2025 season. Per Frank Severali,
Mhm.
this is a prorated, I'm assuming that's what that's supposed to say,
Yeah.
league minimum at $775,000. Yeah, it's spelled wrong on the top.
Very interesting because before, when he was in the KHL in St. Petersburg, there was a lot of
Yeah.
articles about maybe how him and the coach fucking hated each other. There was recorded screaming matches and things like that. And so when there came an announcement of he was going to be leaving, people assumed that it was because he got fired. But he says that he opted to leave due to quote unquote family reasons.
Right.
And then afterwards, there was a statement released by the coach who was like, it's all good, Tony is just like, I forget what he said. I don't know if it's in this article or another one, but he was basically like, Tony's a passionate guy and a great player and we'll miss him. And I was like, weren't you guys just like talking shit? Like literally last week?
Some guys just talk shit to each other though, too. Like, so maybe
That's
it
fair.
wasn't all that hard feelings. It was just like the locker room razzing each other.
But I don't think
maybe not.
Yeah, I don't think you're really razzing your coach.
He was
though.
controversial when he was with the NHL before.
He is controversial no matter where he's been. He has done a lot of
So,
big bad no-no stuff.
do you think they brought him on to replace Rempe? Because Rempe's getting kicked down to the AHL for a bit.
No,
Well, it's
because
the wrong
Rempe
New
was
York
back
team.
up in the NHL and before all this came down.
Yeah,
That's
I don't think that they're
Rempe's
going to
with
replace
the Rangers.
Rempe. I don't know why they're doing this, to be honest with you. I don't know why the Islanders would bring him back in. I mean, I guess it's because they can pay him less than the league minimum because he's missed half of the season. So if you need somebody else, and also, the Islanders, Rempe plays for the Rangers, not the Islanders.
That's what I just, that's my bad.
I think it's strictly a depth move on defense.
Yeah, always.
I think if you look injury-wise, if I remember correctly, a good portion of their defensive core in New York, you've got Noah Dobson's hurt, Ryan Pulock's hurt, Mike Riley's hurt. Those are all defensemen, and it's like you kind of need some backup right now. So I feel like that's strictly the move here.
Right.
His defensive ability is good. It's just A, can he stay out of the box? B, can he stay out of suspension? And C, can he stay out of fucking trouble off the ice?
Right, can he keep his goddamn mouth shut?
That's realistically, no, you're not wrong. I get it. There are better options out there, I think, personally, but I mean, if he could clean his shit up, all good, bro. But I don't see him playing much ice time after New York's defensive core comes back.
Yeah. So I think Match TV published a report from a source close to the situation in St. Petersburg that said he was always cursing at everyone. No one liked him. And how can you love him if all you ever hear from Tony is fuck you? D'Angelo primarily wanted to get good statistics in the KHL, which would lead to bonuses, but he did not expect that the refereeing rules in the Russian league were so radically different than that in the NHL. And not for the better. This made Tony even more nervous, especially when the referees began to openly bully him. At the same time, D'Angelo overplayed shifts and yelled at everyone when he was not released on the first power play unit, which scores the lion's share of points. It was with Dynamo returning from the ice that D'Angelo once again vented his displeasure in one of the episodes with his favorite saying, fuck you. And in response, he heard a mirror response from Korshakov. Evgeny Korshakov is one of the assistant coaches there. Seems like that's what it is.
What's the common denominator here, Tony?
Yeah.
You ever think you're the problem?
Yeah. As a reminder, while he was with the Arizona Coyotes, he was suspended for 3 games for assaulting a ref. So maybe the referees in St. Petersburg were like, hey, we heard about you.
Yeah.
And they weren't going to let anything slide.
I wouldn't mess with a Russian ref. I'm just saying.
I would not
I've watched
either.
them knock some motherfuckers out before. So I don't fuck with. Yeah, you don't want to fuck with the Russian refs. You don't want to fuck with Russian players. Don't fuck with Russian refs.
You come over here and try that, we slap you down.
Yeah.
You want to throw a punch? I throw a punch 10 times harder. Into your mouth. Enjoy.
For those of you who are unfamiliar with Tony D'Angelo and why we are shitting on him a little bit, he was healthy scratched 8 games by the Syracuse Crunch in his AHL time because of behavioral issues. He also was let go by the Rangers after starting a fight with fucking Alexander Georgiev. Why are you fighting your fucking goalie, first of all? Second of all, why are you fighting Georgiev? Like,
he's the
of all the ones,
person.
Binnington's right there. You know what I mean? Like, go fight him.
Don't fight Georgiev. He doesn't bother anyone. He's like super sweet.
Right. Yeah. That's so silly. Anyway. He's back, y'all. Let's see what happens.
He was also the only player in NHL history for a long time to be bought out by multiple teams. The only other player who's had that happen is Ryan Suter, but he's had other. I don't think he's gone a season without a suspension, and it's like,
oh god,
the Islanders are really bringing themselves into a shitstorm, and it's like, I get it, but again, there are other options that would have been better.
And again, he has not just issues on the ice because his defensive capabilities were also part of the reason why he was healthy scratched in the AHL. And obviously, he's grown since then, whatever. But he hasn't grown that much in that department. So you're not just talking about like the on ice shenanigans with assaulting refs and all of that, but it's also the off ice stuff. Like his publicist was working double, triple overtime for a number of years because of the shit he would say on Twitter. So
Wild.
like I want all fucking teams in the league to just remember that when you're hiring somebody, you do have to think about their public image and whether or not you want that to align with your public image. And if you're fine with hiring a Tony D'Angelo, if you're fine with hiring a fucking, what was that guy in the NFL who has all those sexual assault charges and recently injured himself and fans literally rejoice.
Watson.
I was gonna say, where does the list start?
Well, I mean, also think about players like Evander Kane, who have been in a very similar situation, who has in turn turned his act, like cleaned his act up, and is becoming now kind of someone who fans are starting to warm up to a little bit.
Right.
But like, you really should be mindful of who you're hiring and what that's going to look like as a reflection of your organization.
Well, and again, think of it in the context of you have so many other options. You didn't have to hire Tony.
Right.
Like we've seen countless times. I know each of our three franchises have seen a moment where we've had to call up a player from the AHL who gets out there and you're like, oh, holy shit, you give him a little bit of time. Like,
why are we playing this kid?
Why are we not? Yeah, exactly. Why are we not pulling him up? And part of that is because, again, contracts and all that kind of shit. But when you have injured players that you know are going to be out for a long time, the AHL is rife with talent, y'all. We don't need to be retreading old ground of players who clearly have a reputation for injuring the team's reputation in addition to their own. So then why are we doing this? Like, it seems silly.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I mean, I hope I'm wrong. As always, I hope I was wrong with Rempe when we called him out for his bullshittery. I hope, well, I don't really. There's still some people I hate. And I'll continue to hate them until proven otherwise, and I just don't think I will be. But I hope that Tony gets better. I don't think I need to see him, but I hope he gets better just because he does. His reputation impacts the NHL. Because if the biggest name you see in headlines for doing dumbass shit is his, you think that he's co-signed by a lot of other people. And he's not. And that's why people in the locker rooms, as noted here in Moscow, don't like him.
Yeah.
Or sorry, St. Petersburg. Well, with that, do we want to talk about some other big news that hit the wire here in the last couple of days? Chris, would you please fill us in on a recent major fucking trade?
So,
here he goes.
On Friday. All right, you know what? You could do me a favor, Maul. You can eat me.
Way. Go.
Sit and spin, bitch.
So, on Friday, Elliot Friedman broke one of the biggest fucking trades that I think we've seen in a good amount of time. It is a 3-team trade that involves the Carolina Hurricanes, the Colorado Avalanche, and the Chicago Blackhawks. The Chicago Blackhawks receive a 2025 third-round pick. The Colorado Avalanche receive Martin Necas from the Carolina Hurricanes, Jack Drury from the Carolina Hurricanes, the 2025 second-round pick, and a 2026 fourth-round pick. While the Carolina Hurricanes receive the rights to Nils Juntorp, I think that's how you pronounce his name, who is an
Want me to go to Google?
Player.
No, because that's how we got fucking P-Train Jello.
Former Hart Trophy winner Taylor Hall and Mikko Rantanen.
Now, Chicago's also retaining 50% of Rantanen's salary.
Dude, Colorado's not paying Rantanen a fucking dime.
Yeah,
They don't get him.
Chicago somehow is ending up paying for this, which I don't understand.
Well, they
Like,
have
what
the
the fuck?
cap room. They're one of the few teams that has the cap space to make that happen, while
But, like, I
also
get
giving up
that,
one of
but
their first line guys.
yeah, I don't
Like,
understand.
that's such a huge trade.
Yeah, which I know Bedard was really upset because he has grown quite close to Taylor Hall during his
Yeah.
time there and saw him as a mentor and a friend. So that's kind of sad.
Well, someone who's
But
been at the top of the league.
all
Yeah.
good things must come to an end. We saw it with Swayman and Olmark.
I still
But they
have
didn't have to
feelings
come to
about
an
that,
end.
and I hate
know.
I hate the Bruins, but I still have feelings and sad. I
Yeah.
don't like to think about that.
Glad to bring it
but
up.
I mean, this is such a monumental trade considering the names that are involved in this. Mikko
Correct.
Rantanen is obviously a mainstay on that first line, or was a mainstay on that first line for the Colorado Avalanche. A Martin Necas who has been a monster with Carolina. I think a lot of this has to do with we don't know what Gabriel Landeskog's going to do.
Mm.
There's
Mm-hmm.
still question on if he comes back, when he comes back. I think this is a reactionary thing to they need to plan for the worst. They need to have in place a plan. God forbid Gabriel decides he can't play again.
Yeah.
And I think this is a good way to at least set yourself up to have cap space. If Gabe doesn't come back, you have about $5-6 million. I believe his contract is somewhere around there per year. That is freed up that they can go in the free agent world, because the free agent list is pretty heavy this year coming up.
Right.
And go sign someone. If Gabe does come back, well, you've given him another piece that can help that first line. And with Martin Necas, his production has been ridiculous this year.
Which is why I don't understand why Carolina gave him up. I mean,
I think I don't know if you can say no to Mikko and only pay half.
yeah, true.
Like, that's such a deal. And I think Taylor Hall moving over, getting him a good new scenery with a team that's already solidified, I think is only going to
Right.
help him. He wouldn't. The writing is on the wall for Chicago. Let's acknowledge the elephant in the room. There's a lot of
Right.
players on that team that deserve to be somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I think this is a good move for them. Like, in the sense of not holding players back. But, like,
Right.
how do you get nothing but a pick and you're still paying half of Rantanen's contract? Like, the fact that Colorado doesn't have to pay a dime for Mikko.
Yeah, it's insane how that worked out. So I guess that kind of leads us into the question of the week then. Who was the real winner in this trade? Who came out the most on top? And then also, who was the loser?
I mean,
Who wants to go first? Maul.
I'm gonna say Rantanen. I think he's the one that made out, because Chris and I were talking about this the other day when we were watching the Blackhawks. They're having a bad season. They suck.
Yeah.
They're not the worst team, but there's
they
so
are
much.
the worst team.
Well, okay. Well, I'm trying to
I
be
better
a
not,
little bit like, positive here, but
We could say we could say the real truth. They're
okay,
the worst team in the
fair, right.
NHL.
They suck. And it's not just that they're a bad team and they're playing bad. There's so much drama and negative news that comes with that team. If I was a professional, I would want to be as far away from that as I possibly could.
That's why
And
I'm
the
happy
fact
for
that
Taylor
he was
Hall.
able to get away,
Yeah.
maybe we can see him step into a different light and, grow to his full potential, because he's not being weighted down by all the negativity that comes with the Blackhawks.
Do you mean Taylor Hall? Because Mikko played for Colorado. Taylor
Yeah.
played
Sure.
for Chicago.
Sure.
Yeah. Danger, what about you? Who do you think?
This is just the same.
Who do you think made out in this? Team or person? or fan base, I guess.
I mean, I think anywhere that Miko is, the fans are gonna have a good time.
Oh, dude, Miko,
Yeah.
yeah, I
The other
agree.
team is gonna have, or like the teammates are gonna have a good time. The fans are gonna have a good time. Yeah, it's hard to say really until we start seeing how everybody meshes with their new teams. For me, at least.
Mhm.
But I like Miko. I was shocked to see him involved in a trade, but
Yeah. So,
take it.
I want Chris to get the last word on this, so I'll go next. Just because I know Chris has thoughts. I think that there's no way that Carolina doesn't end up the winner of this trade.
Yeah.
I mean, they have Rantanen,
Yeah.
they have Hall. They've also got Roslovic as well in all of this. Yes, they lost Natchez, which I think is unfortunate. I think he was a good component there, but they're only paying 50% of Rantanen's salary, which is, as Chris had said earlier, like, how do you get away from that? I think that the biggest loser in this is Chicago. I think that this is fucking stupid that they're retaining 50% of the salary for the dude that was never on their fucking team so they can get, what was it, a fucking 5th round pick or something like that? Sorry, 3rd round pick for next year or for this year. Like, okay, but you still have to put up with almost $5 million in salary.
Right.
Like that just at 4.7
Or
million.
4.625.
Yeah, I did quick math. Listen,
Yeah.
you should be lucky I got that close.
Hey, I'm proud of you for getting there.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I think that that Carolina lost this for sure. I don't know why they were fucking involved. Just because they wanted to get rid of Hall.
Chicago?
Which, why are you doing that when you have fucking Connor Bedard and you're supposed to be building him a goddamn team? Now I understand that Taylor Hall was not the linchpin of this team, but like he was a component that was helpful to the culture at the very least. And now you've got fucking nothing, and your superstar is sad, and your team captain Nick Foligno is also super sad. So like, Chicago, what the fuck are you doing? But Carolina, like, I mean, good on ya. And then Colorado, they got a ton of shit. Obviously they got Natchez, which he's gonna produce well wherever he goes. He's on a fucking streak this year. Jack Drury, fine. They also got that 2nd round and 4th round pick, so they've got some future options there. But it just, I don't understand. I'm confused. Chris, your thoughts?
I'm going to be honest. I think the winners in general are both Carolina and Colorado. I think you got to look at, I look at it this way. Colorado is a wild card team who is trying to adjust to being a wild card team for the first time in like 5 years.
Yeah.
Their play has been a little on and off. They're 4-5-1 in their last 10, whereas Carolina's only they're only what 8 points, 7 points from like leading the Metro Division.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're in a great position, and to kind of freshen up that team a little bit, add some big pieces to that is only going to help them. I mean, we are long past the time where we see Taylor Hall being a legitimate number 1 guy. He's in his like early 30s. He hasn't been the dominant force that he used to be. But he's a depth guy that easily could slot in 2nd or 3rd. I think you have to give up if you want someone with the power of Mikko Rantanen. There was no way they weren't going to give something big up. Like you can't just assume that they're going to go with picks and like some prospect. You had to give something up. I think the shakeup, when you go to the Colorado end, I think the shakeup is only going to further help them try to reconvene, get some extra chemistry. Plus like I had said previously, they don't know what Landeskog's going to do. So if Landeskog does decide to retire, well, they freed up $9.2 million off of their cap
Mm,
to where you can go sign someone and they're not paying any of
right.
Rantanen's contract, to where you don't get someone with that name at a cheaper price than 50%.
Right.
So like, I think this is so mutually beneficial for both teams, and I love that about this trade.
Except for Chicago's involved and
And
why it's not beneficial for them at all.
It's the
Like
only thing
literally
it's
0%
benefiting.
beneficial.
Yeah, the only thing it's benefiting is getting rid of the contract of a guy who's just about out of his prime, and you get a draft pick, and it's not even really
Yeah.
a good draft pick. It's a third rounder in 2025. Like, it's
Yeah.
you can find, don't get me wrong, you can absolutely find some unreal talent in the third round. Like, it
Right.
has been proven time and time again. But this
Which,
is,
like-
in essence, a salary dump.
Well, and so I guess that's fair, and I know someone's going to say it in the comments that Chicago, with this move, because Hall's final season was $6 million contract,
Yeah.
that by picking up Rantanen's 4.62 or whatever, that
It
they are
saves you $2 million
effectively
bucks.
freeing up, $1.3 million in cap space. However, again, they weren't even using all of their cap. Chicago wasn't. So what is an extra 1.3 million, or at least they weren't last year. I haven't checked it in a while. But like, what is realistically, genuinely, what is that extra 1.3 million gonna do you for? That it makes sense to give up Taylor Hall and pick up half of Rantanen's salary. You know what I mean? Like, that just makes no sense to me. They're the one component that I'm like, yeah, I think Colorado definitely got a win here with bringing Natchez in. Specifically him. Jack Drury is fine. Not as
He's
much
a solid
of a
player. He's a solid player.
he just, I mean, if we're talking about which one is the bigger blockbuster between Natchez and Drury, it's Natchez easily.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't understand Chicago's piece part in it. It does seem win-win kind of for Carolina and Colorado though. So at least there's that.
Fresh faces that are only going to help your team.
Yeah.
I mean, current cap space right now for Chicago is 4.6. So they could easily removing that.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's not much, but it's something.
Mhm.
The problem is now you're stuck with, a big contract. And plus, dude, you're paying Seth Jones $9.5 million until 2028. Which, again, Seth Jones is a top-tier defenseman and has absolutely earned every bit of that paycheck. But, like,
Right.
you just picked up half of a contract for a guy that's never going to wear your fucking jersey. Like,
Right. That's weird.
It doesn't make sense at all.
Although I guess technically with this, maybe he could have ended up on their quarter century list, right?
I just want to point out
they're
that
paying a salary.
They're retaining 3 players right now.
Yeah.
You think there were 2 players, and then they bought out Josh Bailey at 1.16. They're retaining $2 million of Jake McCabe's contract, and they're retaining 4.625 mil from Mikko. That's almost $8 million in retained or bought out money. That's dead cap. You can't do shit with that cap. You're sitting on that, and
That's
it's
crazy.
gonna fuck you over for the
Yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, again, with how shitty of a team and how shitty things are being ran over there. I mean,
Yeah,
I
their
guess
front
it's
offices.
It's funny to me that it's them, but
Yeah.
I don't see how this is not a mutually beneficial, trade for Colorado and
Right.
Carolina. And maybe this
Carolina.
is the only way that the deal could have been done. Like,
Right.
maybe
Right.
this was the only option, and they were like, well, if we can get rid of, 6.5 here and, gain that little extra, maybe we can work this out and at least give Taylor Hall a shot at the cup.
Right.
That's
Still,
my soapbox.
all kinds of wacky.
Sorry to take up
Right.
everyone's time, but like I said, I did have thoughts
No.
on this.
You did have thoughts, and I'm glad you shared them. Thank you, Chris, from the bottom of my heart. That seems
I'm
so
more like
insincere.
Top of the heart, so
Yeah. I usually shoot for the middle, personally, but
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, we have had some naughty boys recently,
We have.
and we always have hurdy boys. There's never a shortage of those. So, Danger, you want to tell us who's been naughty?
Yes, we have one each of a fine and a suspension. Oscar Sundquist from the St. Louis Blues was fined $2,000 for the second time for diving and embellishment on the
Pissed.
18th. It happened on the 18th. It wasn't instated until the 24th.
Mhm.
Oscar, what you doing, bud?
Right?
You're better than that. You played for us. We don't ever do that in Minnesota. Never, ever. For suspensions,
funny.
we have Emil Lillibert from Tampa Bay, suspended for 2 games for interference against JT Compher.
Yeah.
Yeah. He forfeits $9,062.50, helping us inch our way to that $2 million.
If you're gonna get suspended, I guess make sure you don't make a lot
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
fined.
Don't
It-
be
it's some-
like fucking Connor McDavid with the 200,000.
Don't give up a fuck ton of money.
Right. Yeah. How much did Connor McDavid lose again?
It's like 200 something thousand.
$195,312.50.
Wow.
Of
So this
course,
does put us over
Valerie
$2 million for the
Nichushkin was the
season.
highest
Yeah. Well, he was
because
suspended the
he was
longest.
over $1 million.
Yeah.
But we've had Tanner Janot at over 40,000, Ryan Reeves at 35 and change, Timo Meyer at 45 and change,
Yeah.
Matt Rempe at 80,000 for 8 games. It's not as
That's
shocking
crazy.
when you hear it for 8 games. That's why.
No.
And
But that still
Tyler
means he was
Meyer
getting
is at
paid
46.
$10,000 a game.
Right. More than I make. My
More than I
unemployed
think.
ass. And for the first time, I don't know, ever, we'll say, and by ever, I mean that I can ever remember, everybody on our injury list was updated either yesterday or today. So let's do this thing. For Anaheim, we have Brock McGinn, lower body injury on IR, expected now to be out till September 15th. So that's the big update. He is now out for the rest of the season. John Gibson on our list again, upper body listed as day-to-day. For Boston, we have Brandon Carlo with an illness listed as day-to-day. Charlie McAvoy, upper body on IR, expected to be out until at least January 30th. Mark
Zuckerberg.
Kaspelek, sure,
Sorry.
undisclosed,
Yeah.
syphilis, on IR, expected to be out until at least January 30th. Oliver Wahlstrom, illness, expected to be out until January 30th. And Hampus Lindholm, one of our favorite names in the game, lower body on IR, expected to be out until at least January 30th. Clearly, the Boston boys have been partying on our favorite bus. Along with them was the Buffalo player, Jordan Greenway, undisclosed, on IR, expected to be out until at least January 31st. Love Jordan Greenway, though. Hopefully he can come back. For Calgary, we have Connor Zary, knee injury on IR, expected now to be out until at least February 23rd. Kevin Ball, undisclosed, day-to-day. Justin Kirkland, knee injury on IR, out for the rest of the season, as is Anthony Mantha with a knee injury as well. On IR, expect to be out, both of them, till September 15th. For Carolina,
Mantha did show up ahead of the game tonight, though, to see his old teammates because we play them tonight. So
nice.
he stopped by, even though he's injured, he stopped by the locker room to be like, "Hey, fellas, I miss you.
Hey,
we want to
guys."
play."
You want to play some knee hockey? Wait.
Yeah.
Was he on crutches or anything, or is he walking fine now?
I have no idea. I just
okay.
read
I didn't know
the
if you
tweet about it. I
saw.
didn't see a picture. Yeah.
Got it. For Carolina, we have Jack Roslovic. Sure. Illness listed as day-to-day. Tyson Joss, lower body on IR. Expected now to be out until February 1st. Jesper Fast, that neck injury on IR. Now expected to be out the rest of the season, so September 15th. William Carrier, lower body, expected to be out until at least March 25th. However, he is not listed as IR currently, so we'll see. For Chicago, we have Connor Murphy with a groin injury on IR, expected to be out until at least February 5th. Craig
That one hurts my
Smith.
fantasy.
Craig Smith, back injury on IR, expected to be out until at least January 30th. Laurent Brossois, knee injury on IR, expected to be out until at least April 2nd. For Colorado, we have Oliver Kylington, upper body on IR, expected to be out until at least January 31st. Gabriel Langdescu, knee injury on IR, expected to be out until at least February 22nd. Valerie Nikushkin, lower body, expected to be out until at least February 2nd. Sucks to suck. For Columbus, we have Dante Fabbrio. That's a great name. Illness, riding that bus in Boston, apparently. Listed as day-to-day. Cole Slinger, upper body, listed as day-to-day. Igor Chenikov, upper body, on IR, expected to be out until at least February 2nd. Boone Jenner, shoulder, on IR, expected to be out till at least February 22nd. Eric Gudbranson, shoulder, on IR, expected to be out till at least March 24th. And Sean Monahan, with a wrist injury. Not going to say what I wanted to say. On IR, expect to be out till at least March 11th. It almost came out. I almost couldn't stop myself, guys. That would have been bad. I think I've said it before on air.
That's so funny.
For Dallas, we have Mason Marchment. Face injury, expect to be out until at least February 8th. Tyler Seguin, whatever his fucking name is. I don't care. He plays for Dallas. I don't fucking care. He has a hip injury on IR, expect to be out until at least April 3rd. Sorry, Tyler Sagan. Feel better now. Seguin.
It's definitely Sagan.
For Detroit.
It's definitely Segway. Segway.
For Detroit, we have JT Comfer. That's a name that sounds familiar. He got hit pretty hard, apparently. Undisclosed, listed as day-to-day. Detroit apparently borrowed the bus after Boston had it because Vladimir Tarasenko has an illness, listed as day-to-day. Jeff Petrie, undisclosed, on IR, expected to be out until at least January 3rd. Patrick Kane, upper body, on IR, expected to be out until at least January 30th. For Edmonton, we have Stuart Skinner, personal reasons.
I think his wife is giving birth.
Okay, good. Because he's a bitch.
Well, I think
that might still be true.
Yep, his wife gave birth last night to their first child.
Oh, well, good. So he should have played today.
Yep.
Anyway,
I mean, you want to talk about fantasy-wise?
I'm totally kidding. But he is out becoming a father. So congratulations,
Congrats to Stu and his wife.
Hopefully you let in a couple of Minnesota goals next time you play.
No, don't
do
that.
that.
On my fantasy team.
Alec Regula with a knee injury on IR, expect to be out until at least January 30th. Evander Kane, knee injury on IR, expect to be out until at least February 22nd. And John Klingberg, hip injury on IR, expect to be out until at least February 1st. For Florida, we have Jonah Godoyevich, upper body, listed as day-to-day. For Los Angeles, we have Drew Doughty, ankle injury on IR, expect to be out until at least January 30th. For Minnesota, this one hurts. And check out our TikTok and YouTube shorts because we'll have a little chit-chat about him soon.
Yeah.
Kirill Kaprizov is now going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. He's having surgery on the lower body issue that has been ailing him the latter half of the first half of the season. I don't know why I said it like that, but y'all understand. But he is out with the lower body. This doesn't say he's on IR, but I saw a tweet today that he is on IR, expected to be out until at least February 27th. Marcus Johansson still has that concussion from Connor McDavid. No, I'm not going to let that go. On IR, expected to be out until at least January 29th. And Jonas Brodin, another one that hurts, lower body on IR, expected to be out until at least January 29th. I know they put Brodin on long-term IR, retroactive to like the 7th of January, yesterday or today. So, for Montreal, we have Carey Price, a knee injury, like we've talked about. On IR, expect to be out until at least September 23rd. I'm starting to think we're not going to see him play.
Can we just put on here? It's been like 2 years. Can we just put on here? Probably not coming back.
Yeah.
Just stop updating it.
Well, it was his back first, wasn't it?
No,
and now it's his knee. Like
it's been his knee.
How has it always been the knee?
Yeah, it's been the knee.
But yeah, like at this point, just take him off the fucking list.
Carey Price,
guys.
I love you. You're one of the best to ever do it. But fuck, bro, if you're not gonna play, just don't play.
Right.
Yeah. Which sucks. Like I hate to see somebody go out because of injury. but it's
It
getting to be
happens,
a bit much.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Also, we have Emil Heineman, upper body, expected to be out until at least February 4th. For Nashville, we have Jeremy Lazon, lower body on AR, expected to be out until at least January 29th. Luke Evangelista, sure, lower body on AR, expected to be out until at least February 7th. And Mark Jankowski, upper body, expected to be out until at least January 29th. For New Jersey, they're fucking falling apart, kind of. We have Nico Hischier.
Hischier. This also fucks me in fantasy.
Sucks to suck. Undisclosed listed as day to day. As is Nathan Bastian. Undisclosed listed as day to day. Santeri Hatka. I always want to call him Hackinta. Hatka. Shoulder. On AR, expected to be out until at least February 2nd. Jacob Markstrom, knee injury, expected to be out until at least March 7th. And Eric Haula, ankle. On AR, expected to be out until at least January 29th. For the Islanders, we have Hudson Fashing. Upper body on IR, expected to be out until at least January 30th. Semyon Varlamov. Lower body on IR, expected to be out until at least February 2nd. Excuse me. Marcus Hogberg. I don't know why I put the emphasis there.
I don't know either.
did. Fucking suck out of it.
Hogberg.
Hogberg. I think I was still trying to like burp a little bit. Upper body on IR, expected to be out until at least February 2nd. Noah Dobson. Lower body on AR, expected to be out until at least February 25th. Mike Riley, chest injury. On AR, expected to be out until at least February 23rd. And Ryan Pulik, sure. Upper body on AR, expected to be out until at least February 2nd. For Ottawa, we have Noah Gregor. Lower body on AR, expected to be out until at least January 29th. Cole Reindehardt. I know I said it wrong on purpose. Upper body listed as day-to-day. Jacob Bernard, doctor. Maybe he can doctor the rest of the players together. Make an actual player out of all of them. Thank you. That's a bad dad joke. Ankle injury on IR, expected to be out until at least February 22nd. Linus Ulmerich, back injury on IR, expected to be out until at least January 30th. Nick Cousins, lower body, expected to be out until at least February 3rd.
Fuck Nick Cousins.
Jensen.
I'll say it for everyone.
No, that's fine. For a second, I thought he was Nick Leddy, and I was about to be like, no, he's from Minnesota.
No, I like Nick Leddy.
Yeah.
Nick Cousins is a piece of shit.
Yeah, Nick Cousins can eat it. Nick Jensen, however, seems like a nice enough dude, but was partying with Buffalo and Boston because he has undisclosed listed as day-to-day. It's really just the flu, I'm sure, guys. It's fine.
Probably.
Meanwhile,
like Dave and I were both really sick for like 2 straight weeks. Like it sucked, right?
Yeah.
Like around Christmas time. So I'm sure that that's what's going around. I just think the syphilis bus is funnier. For Philadelphia, we have Sean Courtier.
Couturier.
Sean Courier. Curry powder. He has an illness listed as day-to-day. Igor Zamula, upper body, listed as day-to-day. Ryan Pooling, upper body on IR, expected to be out until at least January 29th. Ryan Ellis, back injury on IR, now out for the rest of the season, so expected to be expected to be out until at least September 15th. And Nikki Delorier, upper body on IR, expected to be out until at least February 2nd. For Pittsburgh, another Minnesota boy, I believe, Blake Lizotte, illness. You gotta stop partying with the Boston boys, Blake. And Yevgeny Malkin, lower body on IR, expected to be out until at least February 22nd.
I love how the two New Englanders here are just like, yeah, no, you right.
Yeah, I know.
You right.
If you can't handle the fire, stay out of the kitchen.
Right?
No one drinks
don't
hotter
get
than
on
someone
that
in
particular
Boston.
bus, boys.
Right.
It's not that hard. For San Jose, Klim Kostin, lower body on IR, expected to be out until at least January 30th. I always forget with this one, and Chris, you can correct me, but is it Jan or Jan?
Jan.
Jan.
Jan. Okay, that's
Jan
what I
Ruta.
thought it was. Well, yeah, I can get the Ruta. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm here to help.
Jan Ruta, lower body on IR, expect to be out until at least February 4th. Nico Sturm, lower body on IR, expect to be out until at least January 30th. Ty Delandria,
Yeah.
sure. Upper
Yeah, you
body
got
on
that right.
IR, expect to be out until at least January 30th. It's some come, some go, some never stay around. Logan Couture, groin injury on IR, expect to be out until at least March 1st. And because I can't ever say it any other way, Vitek Vandenek, face injury on IR, expected to be out until at least January 30th.
Hashtag Vananek.
Sorry, that's your name now.
Let us know if you want
For
hashtag
Seattle.
Vananek merch.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it has to be spelled phonetically the way I say it. It
Yeah.
can't be
Oh
spelled
yeah, it has to
correctly.
be hashtag Vananek. Banananek.
Vananek.
Banana neck.
Banananek.
Banana neck.
Banana neck.
Banananek.
Okay, that should be like the cold open for every injury thing. It should just be banana neck. Anyway, for Seattle, we have Yanni Gord, lower body on IR, expected to be out until at least January 28th. Jordan Eberle, pelvic injury on IR, expected to be out until at least February 25th. Here's the boy for St. Louis. I forgot he plays for St. Louis. How dare you betray us? Nick Leddy, lower body on IR, expect to be out until at least February 22nd. We're beating St. Louis and Colorado in the standings. I can't really
Woo.
complain too much.
No.
Oh,
Um,
in fact, I
we're
wouldn't complain at
behind
all.
fucking Winnipeg and somebody else. I don't know. We're third. So Nick Leddy and then Torrey Krug, ankle injury on IR, expect to be out until at least September 15th. So sorry, Torrey. Sucks to suck. For Tampa Bay, we have, I'm assuming it's Giannis Moser.
Yeah.
Lower body on AR, expect to be out until at least February 23rd. All these people. Fucking,
Dude, Toronto.
these
Yeah.
teams have so many people.
Yeah.
It's that time of year. Oh, this guy made me think of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Matthew.
We are the knights who say... Ni.
No, not the knights who say ni.
The same.
Yeah, the knights who say.
I'm absolutely.
I don't know if
adding
that's
that.
how you say his last name, but that's how I'm going to say it.
Matthew Nees.
Upper body listed as day to day. Dewey. Connor Dewar. Upper body on AR, expect to be out until at least January 29th. John Tavares. Lower body on AR, expect to be out until at least February 4th. Mac. Let me try it again.
Try it one more time. I don't
Who?
know what just happened there.
Say it for the people in the
Hairball.
back.
And hairball. Sorry. Max Pacioretty, upper body on IR, expected to be out until at least January 29th. Callie Yarncrunk, groin injury on IR, expected to be out until at least February 22nd. Anthony Stellars, knee injury on IR, expected to be out until at least February 1st. Yanni Hakanpää, knee injury on IR, expected to be out until at least January 29th. For Utah, we have Mikhail Sergachev, upper body listed as day to day. Dylan Gunther, a lower body on IR, expected to be out until at least February 2nd. Sean Jersey, shoulder on IR, expected to be out until at least April 1st. Robert Bortuzzo, lower body on IR, expected to be out until at least January 29th. Kiefer, I didn't know we had a Kiefer. These guys have been partying too, fucking Vancouver. Kiefer Sherwood, undisclosed, listed as day to day. Noah Juleson, undisclosed on AR, expected to be out until at least January 29th. Dakota Joshua, that leg injury on AR, expected to be out until at least January 29th. For Vegas, we have Cole Schwint, lower body on AR, expected to be out until at least January 28th. Robin Lehner, hip injury on IR, expected to be out until September 15th. Nobody's shocked there. William Carlson, lower body on IR, expected now to be out until at least February 4th. For Washington, we have Sonny Milano. I was going to say Miliano. That's not right. Sonny Milano, upper body on IR, expected to be out until at least February 22nd. TJ Oshie and Yoshi with a back injury on IR, expected to be out until at least September 15th. That was a major fuck up. I'm sorry if I got your hopes up. He's not coming back. So.
He's no. I don't know why he had an update, because he's not. Nothing has changed.
Yeah.
He's still fucked
Literally.
up.
Maybe they had. I don't remember if they actually had it as September 15th last week.
They
It's a
did.
fucking pipe dream.
Did they? Okay. Nicholas Backstrom, hip injury on IR, expected to be out until at least July 1st. I wonder if he's been hanging out at Obi's house.
Probably.
Yeah.
Time off.
It's
I mean,
back.
wouldn't
That
you?
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That's still one of my favorite NHL
The commercials.
Why
Yeah.
is he always here? He's just
Yeah.
eating a bowl of cereal on their couch.
If Backy's not there to pass me the puck, what then? Yeah, what then?
Right.
What then?
Right
Why
then.
is he always here for breakfast?
Yeah. And lastly, for Winnipeg, shockingly, they only have one person hurt. Not shockingly, they're like in first place. Well,
Yeah,
first
right.
place in our division at least.
Healthy.
Adam Lowry, lower body on IR. I'm sorry, I can fucking read. Let's try that again. Adam Lowry, upper body on IR, expected to be out until at least February 22nd. And that is
Amazing.
your injury report.
Well, thank you very much for the report, Danger. That leads us
welcome.
into our Fantasy Hockey League report. Chris, you want to take over?
Yes, I
Not
think
literally.
I do. I mean,
Fair.
Take over the world.
you
The
should
world.
have
We're going
you guys
to
should have
steal the
stopped that
moon.
earlier in the fucking year if you don't want me to take over. We just wrapped up week 16 of our 22-week season in the Pucked Up Fantasy League. Running through the scores, D, Maul and I were watching your game very closely
Dude.
as at the last day squeaking out a win over West 111 to 107. Dave
I came
took
back
the
from like 30 points down at one point. I
Dude,
think.
it was crazy. I kept telling
Yeah.
Maul the whole time we were watching game together. I was like, dude, fucking D's got a shot. She needs 2 Vegas players to pop off.
Yeah.
It was a
It was
nail
crazy.
biter for sure. It was fun
And it
though.
helps-
That's why I like
yeah.
doing the fantasy because you get to like it makes the game so much better
Yeah.
and it encourages you to watch teams that you don't care about.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
True.
Dave got
True.
another win over Matt,
Bastard.
96-73. Marcello took the win over Danger, 117
I don't wanna talk about it.
Maul got... I'm sorry, I can't even lie. He didn't get the win. He lost to Drew, 96-87. And myself beat John, 139 to 114. Standings, I believe, still look the same if the playoffs were to start today. It should
I would win
still
them.
be. I don't know. You did just lose by 90 to me.
Yeah, but now you have injured players, so now I stand a chance, Chris.
You know what? Super fair.
All I'm saying is some moves have been made, and I'm coming back to make the second half of the season my bitch.
Maul had made probably, what was it, 7 players? Wholesale changes. Maul has a good shot
Yeah.
to finish at least 500.
Pretty upset
Dave
though
is
because
now
one of the
in
guys I picked on
fifth.
the waivers still not my bench, so
He'll show up tomorrow.
I'll
Probably
be there.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
I hope so. I'm starting to get lonely.
There is a legitimate chance that if Wes loses 2 more and Dave wins 2 more, there's a legitimate
This is a
chance Dave
shakeup.
could make the playoffs.
I don't want to fucking talk
Boo
about
hiss.
He's
it.
7-9.
Boo hiss.
Although he's playing me this week, so I don't know how that's gonna go for him. We are. I've got like 300 above everyone for points scored. It's again, don't give me that kind of power, guys. This week's matchups is D and Drew. That is a 1-point game right now.
Mhm.
Wes is taking on John. Wes is up 17-13 currently. Mother and son are doing a battle this week. That is a 0.3-point game right now between Danger and
Damn.
Matt. Maul is up by 14 points over Marcello currently.
There you
and
go.
I am playing Dave. I am up 21-15.
I mean, hey,
Obviously,
that's still comebackable.
Oh yeah, and it's only Tuesday. Obviously
Cups going up.
for playoffs wise, the top 4 teams get in. There is a consolation ladder for everyone that doesn't make it in. So everyone will get at least 2 more games or 2 more weeks. But yeah, that is our current updates.
Nice. Thank you. That was a very
Dave's-
helpful update. That was a very
Dave's-
helpful update.
Dave is outscoring me 10-5 this week or today.
Wow.
Yeah, because half of my team decided they want to fucking do anything today. I do have a trivia question for you guys.
Ooh, what is it?
Oh Lord.
So, as we know, the names of teams are important, but
Oh.
all right? So the common theme is a plural name. There are teams in the NHL that don't have plural names. Can you tell me how many?
Well, the Wild is one because Wild is
Wild.
not a plural.
How many teams?
Hold on,
And
I'm going up.
Then we can
The
name
Kraken.
Okay, so
The
there's
Shark.
two.
No, because the
They
only
just
way
have Jose.
they just have Jose.
The Shark. It's just Jose.
This is just
Yeah.
Jose.
Just kidding.
I have to name
Kraken,
them because
yeah.
otherwise I couldn't put a number
Yeah.
out there.
Utah Hockey Club.
Utah
There's
Hockey
three.
Club.
Utah. The Lightning.
No.
There's
Yes.
four.
Yeah.
I'm literally like going through all the
Don't
teams in
look
my
it
head.
up, Maul. Don't look it
I'm
up.
not looking it up. I'm looking up a list of team names.
No, that's cheating.
Oh, but that'll
That's
tell
looking
us.
it up.
That's not cheating.
Yes,
That
it
is cheating.
is.
That's
Can you
absolutely
name all
cheating.
32 teams off the top of your head?
Yes.
If you give me
If
enough
you give
time,
me lots.
yeah.
You have 5 minutes.
Give us a minute before you look that up, because I
Alright.
wanted to do the same, but I was
I'm
like,
not looking specifically. I just look at a team.
I can absolutely name all 32 teams within like a minute.
Calling
I
you
can't
out.
do it within a minute.
Calling
I
you
can.
out.
The Blues.
No,
no, that's
that
plural.
would be plural.
No.
We just
Oh,
talked
the
about them.
Avalanche.
There it is.
The Avalanche. So
That's
that's
it.
5.
Blues
5.
isn't plural.
Is it just 5?
It's 5.
Wow.
Why is blues plural?
Because it ends in an
It's
S.
a type of music.
If it ends in an S.
No, blues is a style of music, and it is not plural because that is the actual title of it. It's not hip hops. It's
blues
hip hop.
music.
It's blues.
It counts as a team
I
that
don't know if
ends
I can
with
talk
S.
to them.
That's not fair. Blues is not plural because blues it's the style of music, which is not
Right.
a plural item.
Right.
It's not pops. It's pop and blues.
No,
So
I
the blues
agree.
should count, and I'm right. You know what? In the comments down below, please validate me. Tell me that I'm right. Please let me know if you whatever list Chris found this on is wrong. They just looked for S's and took it off for S.
Well, yeah,
but it is not actually plural. Blues is a solo entity because it is a style of music, and I'm right about that.
So the
Okay,
correct answer is 5.
So
You all got them.
I found the answer to D's thing.
I'm right.
Now, kind of because the name is a pun on the color blue and the genre of music.
Yeah.
So
technically, it's talking about two types.
But they have a
of blue,
music note, so
but it's technically, but it's also blue music note. Most music
color
notes are
blue.
not blue.
Yeah.
Says who?
Danger, you were raising your hand.
Danger, you have
What's
your
your
hand.
question?
I used to raise.
This says blues music is considered both a singular and a plural entity, depending on the context. According to the Merriam-Webster Unabridged Dictionary, blues is a plural noun, but it is sometimes treated as a singular in construction. This means that when referring to the genre or form of music, it can be used with a singular verb, as in the blues is a form of music. However, when referring to multiple songs or instances of music, it can be used with a plural verb, as in these blues are popular in the South.
So I'm right.
So we're
is what I'm
both
hearing.
right.
So what's the one that I was missing? Because I counted the blues as the 5th.
You Avalanche.
Colorado. The Avalanche.
So it's 6, and it's the blues. Thank you very much for that
Okay.
trivia question,
No,
Chris.
you're not, like, you're right, but you're also wrong.
You're right.
Because
No,
we're
I'm
both
right.
right.
I think we have to just let her have this one tonight.
Yeah.
Let's wrap
Any
this
hoodly.
motherfucker up with the obscure NHL Player of the Week.
I did cheat and look this up.
Well, so another player that doesn't really fall under really being obscure at all is a player that I would assume most hockey fans know by the name of Marty McSorley. McSorley was born 1963 in Hamilton, Ontario, went undrafted in the 1982 draft. He has a very very long career, a list of accolades that are amazing. He played 961 games in the NHL, 108 goals, 251 assists, 3,381 penalty minutes.
Wow.
1,800 of them came with one team that made him the all-time points or the all-time leader in penalty minutes in franchise history for the Los Angeles Kings. McSorley played multiple seasons with the Edmonton Oilers, being known as Gretzky's bodyguard. I mean,
Yeah.
with that many penalty
Rightfully
minutes, it
so.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Obviously, being involved in the team's Stanley Cup wins in 88, 87, and 88 and 87, I believe. Because they back-to-back one of those years. Yeah, 86, 87, 87, 88. Yep. He played for multiple teams in his career. He played for the Penguins, Oilers, Kings, Rangers, Sharks, and Bruins. Until 2001, where he played 1 game with the 14 games with the Grand Rapids Griffins, back when the IHL existed. Had 2 assists that season.
Nice.
Marty McSorley is currently, I believe he's currently an analyst for Sportsnet, and occasionally is involved in Hockey Night in Canada. He is very much so known to be a regular in LA at Kings games. But shout out Marty McSorley.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, Chris. And thank you for continuing to pick people who are quite often naughty boys, leading penalty points minutes.
That is the vibe this year.
That is the vibe.
Who owns franchise records for penalty minutes?
Yeah, we love it. Well, with that, I think it's time, probably more than time, that we wrap up this episode of the Pucked Up Podcast. Remember, if you have a question that you want us to answer on any given episode, put it in the comments. Send it via carrier pigeon. Find a bottle and toss that shit in the ocean. Don't litter. But send a message in a bottle. And somehow, some way, those of us who are landlocked will find a way to it, It's fine. Not all of us are
those of us
landlocked.
that are close to water. And
Yeah.
I'm more landlocked than I was before.
You are very
you
landlocked
are.
now. Yeah. Sorry about it.
I think I'm the most landlocked out of all of
Yeah,
them.
you are. I'm like
Yeah.
I'm
A
like
sad-
driving
sad
distance to
life
the
I lead.
ocean.
I'm also in driving distance to the ocean, depending on what your definition of driving distance is.
I'm like 15 minutes from the ocean.
Yeah, I'm
I
like an
can-
hour.
I can see it.
I could see Russia from my house.
You in Alaska?
I got a lake out back. Does that count for anything?
Yeah,
Can
right.
I find a
Yo,
message
I got a
in the bottle out
fucking
there?
stream coming through my yard. Is that good?
Yo,
Yeah.
like Lake Superior for sure.
Listen, a
felt
river
like
ran
the
through
thing
it.
every time I was
A
up
river
there.
did run through it.
Anyway, to get back on topic, ask
Chris?
us your
Big over
questions.
troubled waters.
Tell us no lies. Which means that you should also agree with me that the St. Louis Blues are, in
Okay.
fact, a single, not a plural.
We're just gonna okay, you're right, Jesus.
No, don't do that.
What's Chris's favorite color? Put that in the comments below. Not what
I
your
will
favorite
give
color
you
is, what
bonus points
his.
if any of you can fucking guess that.
Yeah. It's aubergine, by the way. That's his
It is
favorite color.
aubergine.
I was thinking plaid.
Pews. It's pews plaid.
Remember that song?
No.
Oh, that was...
No.
Anyway, the Disney song. But I can't think of they just named a bunch of colors
We
and then it
can't,
goes,
I say
and
we can't sing
plaid.
it because the mouse's people
No.
have scopes. So
Yeah, they
don't
fucking do.
mouse.
Yes, they do.
They do. Anyway, we thank you guys
I
so
think-
much
well-
for joining us this week and every week. We upload our episodes every Friday at some point during the day. Chris gets
8
around to
a.m.
it. Nope. That's not true. Um
That's very true. I know. I upload them.
we also upload exclusive content on our TikTok and YouTube Shorts channels, so be sure you are checking there as well if you want to see more of our lovely faces. They are around, okay? Enjoy it. Live it. Love it. And with that, thank you guys so much, and we will see you mother puckers in the face-off circle next week.